Angular nested component. When you work with a large Angular application, placing all features in a single component is not a good idea. So as the applications grow, maintainability it can become quite challenging. Therefore, we need to split up into multiple components. It may require creating component inside other to form a hierarchical structure. So in Angular, it is possible to nest a component inside each other. The outside container is known as the parent container and the inner one is known as child container. So next we see how to create an extra component in Angular. Nested components are normal Angular component with the parent-child relations. The parent can access and share the data with the child, either partially or fully. And then in finally, creating an extra component follow the same process as creating the regular components. So here, this is the example for nested component. First one, you have to create applications named as nested application. So ng new nested application. In step 2, use the cd command to navigate inside the project folder. Then you have to create a component called parent using the following command ng gc parent. In step 3, to create a child component using the command given below ng gc parent slash child. The child will be created inside the parent component and your project structure will look like this. The first one is parent.component and then parent component.htl and then parent component.spec.ts and then parent component.ts. Once a parent is created, under that you have to create a child. So look at that app under you have a parent folder and that under you have a child folder. Step 4, make changes in the child.html file. In step 5, you have to add the below code to the parent.html. In step 6, we have now the call the parent component inside the app.html file. So after working on the HTML, so it's time to update all the TypeScript file. So start with the child.ts file. So the child.ts file look like this. In step 5, import the child.component in parent.ts file. The parent.ts file contains these parameters. In step 9, finally call the parent component by importing it inside app.ts file. The app.ts file contains these steps. In step 10, to put the style to p tag, update the style.css. The style.css file contains these informations. Once you save all the code changes and run the application using ngs command, you will get the following output. So this is the example of nested component. The final, the outer one is parent component and the inner one is child component. The child component, component is created inside the parent one. So the advantages of nested component are better code organization. It breaks a large user interface into smaller, manageable pieces. It makes the project easier to understand and maintain. In step 2, We use the code reusability. Component can be reused in multiple files. It reduces the duplicate code. It improves the maintainability. Changes made to a child component automatically apply wherever it is used. It is easy to update and fix bugs. It improves the readability. Smaller components are easier to understand. And then separation of concerns. Each component has a specific responsibility. Keep business logic and user interface logic organized. Then it is mainly used for easier testing and debugging. Individual component can be tested independently. It simplifies the debugging and unit testing. It's used for better readability. Smaller components are easier to read and understand than one large component. And then the scalability. Make it easier to build and manage large applications by adding the new component without affecting the existing ones. The last one is efficient development. Different developer can work on different components simultaneously. It improves the team productivity. So this is the example for the real-time example for the nested component. So take an example for e-commerce website like Amazon. Here you have the parent component. Under that you have the header component. In header component, it contains information about logo component and then search bar component. After that, you have a product page component. Under the product page, you have a product image component, product details component, review component, and then comment component. So finally, you have a footer component. Here, e-commerce app is the main parent component. Header is the nested component inside the app. Search bar and logo are nested inside the header component. And then the product page contains smaller components like product image, details, and reviews. And the review component contains comment component. It create multiple level of testing. Here the search bar can be reused on different pages and the product code can be used for many product. So each component can be updated independently. Here the larger applications become easier to manage as well as maintain.